no more, Frank, because it's time to get to that first guest. And this person, boy, oh boy, is this person ruffling feathers. Wow. Let's welcome our favorite chef, our favorite cook to Totally Driven Radio. Hello, Krissi. How you doing?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Oh, we're doing okay. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I suddenly became the most hated woman in America.
The queen of the South Philly drive-by.
That was the greatest thing. When you posted that last night, Frank, I almost died laughing. It was great.
I think it's funny because I keep giving your fellow competitors a hard time, and not one of them will respond to me.
See,
I am really trying.
I have fun with it. The worse the tweets are, the more fun I have with it. I'll write back, "Oh, I love you. Oh, thanks for the compliment, baby."
Oh,
Because
I'll tell you what.
come on, it don't bother. Come on, you see, these are people sitting behind a computer screen. They have no idea who I am, no idea about my life, what I sacrificed to get there. They weren't there. They didn't have to put up with these people. You understand? So it don't faze me. They call me fat, ugly. I don't care. It don't matter to me. I know who I am at the end of the day, and I don't apologize for anything that I did.
Well, Krissi, we think you're beautiful.
Well, I know I'm beautiful, Frank. In my own special way.
Krissi, I woke up this morning, right? Now, every morning I get up, I get situated, I get online, and I'm going through and I'm checking, like, emails and all that stuff from overnight, and I see I have a response from something I posted about you, and it was about a person wanting to, I hate this bitch, and I'm like, really? Like, what happened? Like, what? Did I miss something last night? I mean, seriously.
Well, I mean, I wasn't portrayed very well last night. I mean, was I gunning for Beanie? Absolutely, but it just, the show did not flatter me at all, and but that was all right. I mean, it is what it is. I had some, I want to say, vendettas out, since the day I got there. The contestants weren't very nice to me. They put their nose up at me, acted like, I couldn't cook because I'm a different kind of style, and, I'm the type of person, like, you talk, shit to me once, I'm done with you. I'm not going to like you because your first impression to me was being a total jerk-off. So I don't have anything else to do with you, and that's it. And then, they're oh, well, why don't you want to be my friend? Well, would you want to be your friend? And I saw people, for what they really are. It's always been something that I've been taught from my father. And, look, you read people. You know what their intentions are before you open up to them. And, I saw Kathy, beautiful person. Malcolm, beautiful person. Eddie, these are the people that I'm friends with, I stay in touch with, you know what I mean? And, why would some of the contestants love me and then some of them hate me? Because it was their problem, not mine.
But, all right, you know what I saw last night? What I saw last night was, at the beginning of the show, when you realized your friend Kathy was gone, the human side of you, like the real compassionate human side of you, who was genuinely upset and hurt and realized, like, I'm really alone in this now, and now I really got to step it up even more, and I got to fight. And then at the end...
That's exactly what I have to do.
And then at the end of the second show, what we saw was, and you can't tell me I'm wrong because I saw the look in the three judges' eyes. They looked at you like proud papas. When you had to pick each person what their fate was, you went through each one precision perfect, and nailed each person the way they should have been. You had it all plotted out, and I'm telling you, you can see the twinkle in all their eyes. They were so proud, and I was like, what you saw there was playing the game of reality TV to perfection, and that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, and you know what? I knew, like anybody that even spoke to me at that point, they were done with me. But I had to, look at, all right, how have people treated me thus far? You understand? Like, I can cook, and I've been on top so far, and none of them have. I've been consistently putting out great dishes and been getting praise from the judges, and I'm still not getting respect. That's okay. You don't have to respect me as a cook, but I am a person, and I deserve to have some level of respect given to me. So when that's not given to me, I'm done with you. I have nothing to do with you. So, let's look at what Jordan did. Jordan tanked our team. Jordan saved himself.
Right.
So when it came time for me to be able to give that right back to him and let him know how it felt, I was taking it. I was going to let him know, this is how it feels when, you are left down here, like what you did to me. And not to mention the fact that every piece of salmon he cooked was bad.
Yeah.
So he deserves to be there.
Yeah.
So not only did I give him a dose of his own medicine, but he deserved to be there. I left him down there because he deserved it. As far as Bessie, I was pissed off at her because, she dumped me off her team. She picked me, then she dumped me off her team. And I was like, all right, okay, well, me and you aren't that cool. But, all in all, I don't really have a problem with her. She never, openly disrespected me or said anything bad to me. But I knew that she was going to be part of my strike force. So I needed to leave her down there. James, love James to death. And I know that I pissed him off, but I needed him down there because Jordan and Beanie were my targets. And I knew that James and Bessie were head and shoulders above Beanie and Jordan. So those two were part of my strike team. You understand? Because I knew they would outbake. I knew they would outbake or cook. Actually, I didn't even know it was baking, but I knew that they would outcook them in general. Beanie had it coming to him. Beanie was very disrespectful to me a lot of times. He called me fat in front of the judges and all my other teammates when we did the firefighters challenge. And, I wasn't thrilled with the way that he was getting praise for copying other people's dishes. And to me, I didn't feel as though he deserved to be there like everybody else did. And people only see what hits the TV. You understand? But, Beanie was never nice to me. So Beanie had to go. Bottom line.
Now,
I treat people the way they treat me, and every one of them deserved it in some way.
Now we're going to give you a chance to tell the truth now, Krissi. Because I know how I felt. When Beanie got eliminated at the end, were you really laughing, or was that just creative editing?
I was laughing at his pie. I wasn't necessarily laughing at him. But, he was making jokes about himself as well. And, we were snickering and this and that. And, I was laughing at other things that were going on as well. Bessie was sitting in front of the oven staring at her pie, making sure that it was going to be cooked to perfection. You know what I mean? That was funny. So, I mean, it was just timing, I guess. Like I said, I wasn't being portrayed very well. But I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. I know what happened, and I did what I did, and I'm not ashamed of it, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
Can I tell you something? I'm kind of disappointed. I was kind of hoping you were laughing, because when he started bawling like a little girl, I giggled like a schoolgirl. I thought it was funny, because I said it best. I said, hey, you guys can't give Krissi a hard time. She did something really nice. Beanie said he missed his kids, so she sent him home to see him.
Well, I mean, like I said, I had no compassion or anything towards Beanie because, he was just never nice to me. I mean, it was all fakeness and everything like that, so I really could have cared less. Not to mention the fact that he was a threat because he could copy dishes very well. Not that he was a better cook than me, but that he could copy anything. And that made me nervous because I knew that I was there on my own steam, and I know all the other contestants that were there on their own steam and everything like that. You know what I mean? And for him to look at a cookbook and go, I'm going to make that today. That to me is not a master chef, and I feel as though he needed to be exposed. And knowing that he was put in that pressure test and he was given something that he's never seen in a book, never cooked before, look what happened. All I did was expose Beanie for what he was. And he sent himself home. I set him up because I knew it was going to happen. He sent himself home. I didn't send him home. He sent himself home.
How did he not know he was using cornstarch?
Well, that's exactly my point. That is what I mean about him not being an intelligent chef or a cook. You understand? Like he can duplicate anything. I mean, in that he's very gifted. But what happens when you don't have a recipe in front of you? You know what I mean? That's not a chef. That is not a true chef. A true chef comes from their gut. It don't come from recipes.
Well,
there you go.
That's why I will never be on a show like that because I need recipes. I need stuff in front of me. Like when you guys did the mystery box challenge last night. Like how the hell? And I say this every time. Like I would have no conception on where to go, which way to turn, and the stuff you didn't even know what that stuff was.
Yeah, I knew what some of it was. I knew the Japanese because I watched Chopped a lot, and I knew what a lot of it was because of I knew one was the bitter melon. I knew one was the Japanese sweet potato. I knew one was some type of flank. I could tell by the cut of it that it was a flank. But I knew that I thought maybe it had been like a buffalo, and here it was an elk. You know what I mean? Like I'm not stupid, and neither are a lot of my other contestants. But see, like somebody like Jordan, he would excel in something like that because he likes bizarre things. You know what I mean? Like I can't watch bizarre foods and things like that because that's not something that I would serve my family. So it's not something that I'm interested in. So it was a little more difficult for me. But, hey, like I said, as long as I didn't have the worst dish, that was all right with me.
and that seems to be the thing that everybody's starting to say now. As long as I'm not the worst dish, I know I'm okay.
Right.
Now
of course you want to be the best, but, anything can happen in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing great so far. I have no idea what's coming next. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, literally, I could fall flat on my face next week. I could fall flat on my face the next week. Who knows? Nobody knows what's going to happen. Look at Howard, consistent dumbass. Boom, 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 bad dish, bad dish. All of a sudden he makes a beautiful cupcake. Where did that come from? Fluke. You understand? It can happen both ways. Flukes can happen, in a negative way, and flukes can happen in a positive way. You never know what's going to happen in the kitchen. Anything can happen. Nobody can make a perfect, consistent dish every single time. Nobody.
When Joe tore into him last night, I was flabbergasted. I've never seen somebody get their ass chewed out like that. Wow.
Thing, yeah. I mean, and the thing of it is, he's right. You know what I mean? You're going in front of somebody, just take away the fact that I'm totally, mesmerized by the woman. But you're taking somebody who basically is like the matriarch of this cuisine. And, you know that these things don't belong in Italian cooking. They weren't asking us to, take it to the extreme. They were asking us to make this dish, you know what I mean, as authentic as possible while making it our own.
Right.
Who put jalapenos and agnolotti? Come on, who does that? This isn't some crazy San Jose Mexican Californian, fusion cooking. This is Lydia Bastianich up there, and you're disrespecting her. He deserved that lashing.
Well, the big boy putting the maple syrup in wasn't much better.
And Johnny's an awesome guy. He really, he's up there with Kathy and everything. I mean, Johnny doesn't say a bad word about nobody. Just a really, really good dude. Down to earth, union carpenter, just a barbecue and beer guzzling big teddy bear. He's awesome. And he's from New England. Like, look at lobster cracker jacks. That's what he got in there for. You know what I'm saying? Like, maple syrup. Like, I could see, seeing some. Now, to me and you, it's bizarre. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was very disrespectful to Lydia, but that's him. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do what Howard did and say, I'm just going to go off the grid here. Johnny did something that was familiar to him, his region. You know what I mean? So I think that's why Joe was a little easier on him than he was on Howard.
Now this I got to ask you this. You waited and you earned your right to be captain. How much did it piss you off when they let someone else pick your team who obviously, they didn't know anything about the show, and the way she picked the teams I thought was just stupid.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
I kind of just thought to myself, and I'm sure you could see it on my face. At that point, I was just like, it's not even worth it. Let's just deal with what it is. And I just was like, figures, because I just kind of have a feeling like I've got this like dark cloud over me for team challenges. And I wonder if I'm ever, going to be on a winning team or I get this point, because it's very discouraging, to have lost now 3 times. And, this time, I was even told, by Johnny and that I did a great job. You know what I mean? That, everybody said, oh, yeah, you put Beanie down there and he got most of your votes. Well, that's because Jordan did so terrible. But had Beanie cooked the chicken properly, we would have probably done a lot better than 90-37. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Absolutely embarrassing. And why? Because we lost about 50 plates because there was no fried chicken. Because I don't know what he was doing back there. I don't know what he was farting around. I don't know. He had the oil too hot. He put too much cornmeal in there. It was browning too quickly, so he thought it was done, so it wasn't getting enough time in the oven. It was just a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. And there was nothing none of us could do. We could not make that chicken cook any faster.
And you guys looked so, everything was so organized and going great and everything, and they were praising you. It was like a machine. I was like, yeah, she's got this. And then all of a sudden, it just fell apart.
Yeah. All because the chicken wasn't cooking. I don't know what he was doing back there. And it's a shame because I said to him, in the beginning, I said, how about you put a little bit of cornmeal in there, just a little bit. Well, he dumped this huge amount of cornmeal in there, so it was browning faster than it should have. You understand? So he was pulling it out of the fryer when it got nice and golden, not realizing that it was getting golden because of the cornmeal, not because it was done. And it was a shame because it did have good flavor though. Had he cooked that chicken, we would have smoked them.
Yeah, because even Jean Lynch said when she was trying it, originally she was like the red, and then she had the chicken, and she was like, wow, I can't stop eating this chicken. It's so good. So, yeah. That's why I couldn't understand. I was just like, are you kidding? Because at that point, I did not know that Jordan had screwed up the salmon so bad.
Do you think he tanked that salmon on purpose?
Plates. you know what? The more I think about it, the more I wonder if he did, because he wanted me gone, and he wanted Beanie gone.
Because I'll be honest, you watch him, and he comes through very strong on all these challenges, but then when he's cooking for somebody else, he comes in very weak. And it's almost like, and they even said, well, he put too much vinegar on there. And it's like, come on, really? Could you could almost know that you could taste that. And to me, it just seems like he's trying to sabotage the other teams when he cooks for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Although, the thing, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. But the thing that really kind of saved him was that chili sauce he had made to go on the side of the fried chicken. I mean, he really, that was an excellent sauce. And Johnny did incredible on the coleslaw. I mean, Natasha and I worked our asses off on the scalloped potatoes. James and Betsy did a fantastic job on the vegan lasagna. And, it was the fact that Jordan screwed up on the salmon and Beanie didn't cook the chicken. I mean, and there was just no going back from it, none.
So you and Natasha working side by side again. Is there like a truce going on here? Friends?
There's not a truce. Like, I'm a big enough person where I can't stand Natasha, but I respect her as a cook. She is a good cook, and I know in team challenges she's the person to have on your team because she can cook. But I also know that should we happen to go on a pressure test again with each other, I know from the Eggs Benedict that she doesn't work well under pressure. I do. I can beat her. You know what I mean? And I knew that she would be of no use to me down there. And I wanted Beanie going more than Natasha. And I was afraid that Natasha would do worse than Beanie and Beanie would still be here. And I would have rather had Beanie going than Natasha. Because while Natasha is terrible in pressure tests, she's not an ultimate threat to me, but she's a great teammate. So I had to weigh my options there.
I got to give you credit. You know how to play the game. You know how to play this game.
Yeah, my pop told me from an early age to observe and sit back and just, treat people the way they treat you. Don't go out of your way for somebody that would never do it for you. You know what I mean? And that's, something that, now, I'm so grateful for. He taught me all my street smarts. And, it's a game. People don't like it, but you know what? People weren't there. They didn't deal with it. And at the end of the day, I had to look at myself. People are giving me crap. Oh, you're using your son as a crutch. I'm not using my son as a crutch. All I could think about was, what if I did leave myself down here and I had an advantage? I didn't sink my team like Jordan did. That's why it was a bitch move for Jordan, because he knew damn well he was the cause of our team losing. I did not cause our team to lose. So I had no guilt. Second of all, I thought, what happened? If in the off chance that I would go home and I'd say, Mike, I could have been safe. He'd be like, Ma, what are you doing? Why would you do that to us? You understand? So call it using it as a crutch or not, he's more proud of me for taking that advantage and remaining in this competition as long as possible rather than, taking the blame for something that wasn't my fault and, being sent home early. And green.
Well, I mean, you're talking Jordan and Beamy, who are the king of crutches. I mean, we talked about this before. Jordan's big thing is he was doing it for his mom, and wearing her apron. But when he got that MasterChef apron, he couldn't take that thing off quick enough.
I know.
So, you can't talk. you know, they both went for the sympathy, so they can't give you a hard time when you say, hey, I'm doing this for my son, because they both did the same thing. I think they were just mad because you played the game, and I said it last night. You played it well. You thought out what you were going to do, and you were like a pinpoint drive-by. It was like pow, 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 pow. And even the look on Natasha's face when you told her to go upstairs, that was probably the funniest thing of the night, because she
had no idea, and she nobody knew what I was doing until Beanie started to fail, and I finally said, you know, and they were like, you know, Krissi, what's going on? And I said exactly what I wanted to happen is happening. And that's when everybody was like, oh, I didn't tell, because I don't talk to them. You know, you understand? Like, the only person like that's there still that I'm cool with. I'm really cool with Eddie. You know, I'm cool with Johnny, and me and James. You know, we're on the surface. We're good. You know, I quit smoking. You know, since the show, but me and James were smoking buddies, and you know, that's it. Like, honestly, like I don't hang out with these people. You know, in free time and things like that, I don't hang out with them. I chill out in my hotel room. I don't want to be bothered with them. They're not my friends. I don't want to pretend they're my friends. That's it. I'm here to finish the job that I started. Bottom line.
Well, I got to say this. With the previews for this coming week's show, I am scared. I was very scared. Scared to watch this week.
Well, listen, everybody has their day, and you know, maybe this week is my bad one. You know, you can't be on top all the time, you know, and you know, everybody screws up. Like, look at Lynn. Lynn got blasted for not putting seasoning in his tartare. Who would have ever thought Lynn? Lynn is an excellent, amazing, you know, precision-driven cook, and he underseasoned. You know, everybody has their days. Could this be mine? Maybe.
The stress of this show, Krissi, it's killing me. It's killing me.
Yeah. Try being there.
Yeah, right. All right, everybody, tune in to Fox this coming Wednesday at 8 o'clock for MasterChef. Team Krissi, we will live through another week. We better be.
I predict next week is the week we see Krissi punch somebody in the throat.
Does Krissi reach her boiling point? Is this the week? Tune in.
Does Krissi
I don't know,
make
Joe
more
looked a
friends
little
worldwide?
scared in them previews.
Does Krissi become more hated across America after next week?
Probably. Who knows? I think at this point it wouldn't matter what I did.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you saw her tweet earlier today, but it was one of the greatest lines. Up until now, I was my friend's favorite jackass. Now I'm America's favorite jackass.
It's true, though. You know what I mean? And like I said, at the end of the day, I know who I am. You know what I mean? I'm an awesome friend. I'm an awesome mom. You know what I mean? I'm an outstanding daughter. and I'm an amazing sister. And all the people that matter to me, you know, they love me, and that's fine. I don't need, you know, these people in Idaho telling me I'm a blasphemous person. Oh, you should have caught the flack when I said about how excited I was about Lydia. You know, and I was making a reference that, you know, to me, you know, seeing Lydia was greater than somebody meeting Jesus. Like that's how amazing it felt. And oh, totally, you know, that was a joke, and it was taken totally out of goddamn the blasphemous, God-hating. Oh God, yeah, I'm a terrible human according to all these people. Whatever, guys. If that gets your rocks off, go ahead and tweet hate. I really don't care. It's Twitter. Jesus.
Well, before we let you go, we know you're a diehard Flyers fan. How you feeling about the Flyers saying goodbye to Daniel Briere?
You know, I am so sad. I feel like I've lost my baby brother. I mean, seriously, my kid's favorite player. He's got autographed pucks, autographed sticks. My kid worshipped Danny. I love Danny. Just you know what? He gave us a good run. I'm a little ticked off. Holgram is not my favorite person, and it just seems to me at this point like this is where the NHL comes to die. Oh, you're old? You're a dinosaur? Oh, come to the Flyers. We'll hire you. We get rid of talent like Danny, and I think Briz needs to go next, and we need to get ourselves a goddamn goalie. So other than that, not looking forward to this season at this point, but die hard no matter what. Love my boys. So
there you go. All right, Krissi, thank you again for another great week, and tune in again, like I said, to Fox Wednesday nights for MasterChef, and cheer on Team Krissi, and don't give her no hate. Or you can give her hate, but she'll still love you back. It doesn't matter.
All right, guys, I'll talk to you.
All right, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, see you.
See ya. Wow, Frank. You got to give it to her.
Beware of the South Philly drive-by.
You got to give it to her. I mean, people were saying the most horrible things about her and her son, and she just
laughed it off.
Yeah.
You know what? All joking aside, it's a TV show. And the one thing about the internet now is you got so many keyboard tough guys who are going to come out and because they can hide behind a keyboard, say some of the most stupid, idiotic things. And I really don't want to even give the guy any knowledge whatsoever. Yeah. But some of the people that were just talking about Krissi last night because they didn't like the way she got rid of Beamy and the way she played. Grow up, be a man. If you got something to say to somebody, come down to Philly and say it. Don't sit behind a keyboard and say stupid things.
Yeah. Well.